What's going on, guys? Richie here, and in today's video I want to talk to you about manual block and just basically all of the options that come from it. And obviously manual means, just doing the stance itself and not transitioning from a move. So yeah, let's get into the video. Right, so getting into it, I think it's best that we talk about Leo's block options and how we can use the moves from the stance. Like, let's say we use manual block, so down 1+2, just in general. Your fastest option from this is block 1, so that is your quickest option. So let's say I'm playing against a Leo player and they go for block 1. Now if I'm someone that tries to react to my opponent going into block and I press a button, chances are I'm not going to get there first. So as the Leo player, you now have an opportunity of just letting block 1-2 rip, and you can actually get a full combo from this with QCF3 with enough practice. So this is actually very, very strong. So I'm just going to do it again. So block 1-2. I try a challenge, I'm launched and I'm losing just under half of my health if there's a wall involved. So yeah, this is very strong, and this is just one option. This is just one option. If you don't want to commit to the block 1-2 and you just do block 1, as you can see, you're +9. So easy frame trap, down 1. Going into another move, you have block into power crush, which is a similar principle to using block 1-2 or block 1. And this one is tricky because it's very hard to, react to the fact that they've gone for power crush and duck. It would only be a situation where you check with a down forward 1, and then you can kind of tell that, the opponent's done a power crush, and then you duck. But yeah, very difficult to do. And it's a pretty strong tool, because if I'm trying to whiff punish my opponent with, like, let's say a bigger move, then the Leo player will get the power crush into forward 1+2, all guaranteed. But there are times where box stance, because of the evasion, will crush mids. So yeah, it's a very, very strong tool. Literally defeating 2 offensive approaches in one. You're power crushing and also evading attacks. So yeah, that is also pretty strong. And you can apply this to a lot of characters when you're playing Leo against other characters. But that is 2 of the block options. Something you probably won't want to go for too much and, get too comfortable using is just throwing out block 2. And now, don't get me wrong, this is an unbelievably strong move. It's safe and can track sometimes as well. So yeah, this move is definitely a strong move. But like, let's say if I sidestep late, then I can get launched. But yeah, the reason you'd use this is to obviously, I don't know, maybe bait your opponent into doing a high or something, or maybe if they're doing keep out jab or things like that, then you're gonna have some joy with this move. But for the most part, my opponent is moving around a lot and they're aware of how I'm playing, and they have a read on block, then nice sidewalk and then launch. So the risk is definitely there. Yeah, if you do land a launch, you get a huge reward and -9, and on block have certain setups where you could just go for down back 3 and stuff like that. So, and this stuff does work. As you can see, this stuff does work. So yeah, it's quite strong on block, but the problem is if your opponent is moving around, you can get a nice punish. And as you saw, the cameraman having a seizure. But yeah, this is the type of stuff you commonly see Leo players going for. So that's going through block 1-2, block 1, power crush, and block 2. So there's other options you can do. So this is block 4, and that takes you into K&K stance, and this is where the fun begins, to be fair. Now, this isn't something I would say to always go for because it's very slow on start up, 20 frame, already from a stance which took a lot of frames to do in the first place. So like I said with Bok 2, if my opponent's moving, then chances are this isn't going to be too effective, and also it's very short range as well. But you know, Bok Stance coming in obviously helps with that a little bit. But if you kind of want to knowledge check your opponent, then you know, Bok 4, and then you know, go for some mix-ups from K and K. But yeah, the reason I say that the party begins is because if you are able to keep your opponent blocking this, then the options are literally endless. And if you know how to cancel K and K like instantly, you can just keep looping forward fours, like so. And yeah, your opponent is gonna be very stressed. I can imagine at like intermediate levels, lower levels, if my opponent's doing this 24/7, I'm gonna want to press, and then you know, when they do press, counter hit. So yeah, but let's continue with the Bok Stance. So we also have an option for sidesteppers, so people who love to move, but it is a high, and it comes out at like 21 frames. Yeah, 21 frames. So some opponents will make the read to duck, but I guess it depends how much you're using it, and you will be able to mix up your opponent with Bok 2 sometimes. So yeah, if you want to get this to work, then yeah, Bok 2 may be the go-to in this situation. But like I say, it's something you should use sparingly. Bok 3, if it does get ducked and you get launched, yeah, it's pretty dangerous. But I'm just going to show you just how good this move is. There's no getting around this. This is a homing move. But yeah, if you have the read, duck, and then obviously launch. Yeah, for big damage. So yeah, the reward is good on hit. Obviously, the reward is amazing on block. Obviously, if it lands on block, you've got pretty brain dead options afterwards. Like back 1+4, opponent just has to make the read up to block low. Even trying to low parry is very difficult, as you can see. I'm trying to low parry and it doesn't work. So yeah, this is a very brain dead situation, and yeah, very strong situation as well. You're not stepping at -10, so yeah, you definitely have to take it. You could probably maybe backdash. Nah, yeah, this is a super strong situation. So Bok 3 into back 1+4. If you're not doing that already, then you should be. Okay, so Bok 3. Let's see what else we have. We have, I think that covers everything, but obviously using Bok puts us in crouch, so we have crouch options accessible to us. So things that are good to use: Bok into full crouch sweep, so that's doing down 1+2, and then you're obviously holding down and then doing down forward 3 while in crouch. And this is huge damage, and you're really testing your opponent's reactions here. And it's good to do that, because let's say you need a comeback and you want to mix it up, because just ducking raw in someone's face, they will anticipate it more, because the mix-ups aren't really, you know, the same speed or anything. Like the opponent can kind of get a feel for how to block in that scenario. But if you do it from Bok, where you have other options like Bok 2 and stuff like that, then it becomes a lot harder for your opponent to read. So that's the manual options from Bok. Okay, so what happens if you're an intermediate player and you come across a player of good caliber, you know, maybe a tournament player, maybe a competitive player, and they're dealing with your mix-ups in a way that you've never even thought about before. So I'm gonna set something up quickly, and I'm just gonna show you how to change up your options and add layers to your offense from forward 4. A very crucial move in Leo's arsenal of moves. Definitely recommended to use it. After conditioning your opponent with homins and stopping him from stepping, forward 4 is a extremely strong tool, because it's +9 on block, +15 on hit, and yeah, those frames, let's be honest now, we're all happy with those frames. But yeah, so I'm gonna get into recording it now. I'm just gonna record a few options, and I'm gonna show you what the defense of a higher level player would look like dealing with these mix-ups. So let's go. So we have forward 4-2, and I'm gonna add a delayed forward 4-2 as well. So we have those options. We have forward 4-3. Let me just do that again. Forward 4-3, and we also have forward 4-4. Okay, so now playing against Leo, I'm thinking, what's the biggest reward the Leo player can get after I block their forward 4? So of course on counter hit, huge reward. So naturally you're gonna want to get around it by ducking. So duck, launch, cool. Now we have forward 4. Okay, that was the delayed one. So okay, if I try and duck and get an early punish, as you can see, I might get counter hit. So yeah, delaying this is quite important, but you know, if my opponent commits, they'll still get the launch regardless. Okay, so delaying the time adds a little bit of, you know, a different mind game to it. Then you also have KNK3, which obviously, you know, minus 13. You know, you get punished, whatever. You can get sidestepped as well. But let me just get into the last one so I can show you what is going to happen here. So obviously minus 12, 4. Okay, now I'm going to put every option on and we're going to see just how it looks. So I'm going to duck and then I'm going to stand up again. Okay, let's just see how it works defensively. Okay, 2-1. Okay, held the duck too long. But cool, the stomp is working reliably. Okay. It's definitely something worth practicing because it's definitely not easy to imitate. As you can see, I'm getting launched and stuff. It's very hard to imitate. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff you'll see. They will duck your high. That delayed one is what catches me when I try and stand up for the hop kick. So that is why I added that as an extra layer to the offense. But yeah, as you can see, the stomp is really the only move that is working in this situation. So now, if you realize that, then your opponent might want to go for some evasive moves. So they might just go for, which move is it? Back 1+4. Which move is it? Okay, so back 1+4. As you can see, it beat the delayed KNK2. It beats the hop kick. And it will also beat the low. So I'm just going to show you now the low. So yeah, this is obviously Armor King, you know, he's able to, you know, avoid all of these options. Not every character would have this luxury. But yeah, if this is added to the mix, then obviously, you know, the quick high counter hit is obviously the option. But for the most part, your opponent is just going to be fuzzy ducking, and obviously the delayed one keeps catching me, but fuzzy ducking and trying to get a punish in. As you can see, punishes the hop kick and also punishes the high whiffing, but eats the low. So yeah, this is what it's going to look like. And now that's one type of player, and now we have another type of player. So sidewalk left and probably launch. So the only thing that's going to work is the high in this scenario. And now you're probably thinking, oh my god, this player is so much better than me, I don't know what to do. The high is so risky. Like, obviously there'll be times where your opponent just guesses, and you know, at that point, you know, it's more in your favor then, because the hop kick might just work, as you can see. But yeah, there's different ways of playing around Leo's stance mix-ups, and that is what is so hard as a Leo player. So you have to find yourself obviously going into different kind of, like, even further mix-ups, like extending the mix-up. So it's like you'll do forward 4 and then you'll sway, And obviously this adds layers because your opponent is blocked. He's blocked. He's doing obviously the fuzzy guard defending, you know, waiting for you to do either KNK3, KNK2, KNK4, whatever. You know, he's thinking about sidewalking. He's thinking about all these other things. And then meanwhile, you have all of these options from Sway. And if your opponent freezes up, then, you know, they're in a completely different mix-up at that point. Like, am I going to do QCF1? Am I going to do QCF 3+4? Am I going to do QCF2? QCF2 1? Like, this just adds more layers to the mix. And obviously, sidestepping is not on the cards. So yeah, and you could even get a counter hit launch with a Hogan move in this situation. If they try and do something evasive, like I mentioned earlier with the evasive move that Armor King has. So yeah, that is not a viable option in this situation. Yeah, pretty strong stuff. It doesn't end there because obviously you can keep doing forward fours, and then you can kind of change what option you go for every single time. And yeah, as the opponent, good luck defending against that, because every time Leo does forward 4, you're -9. So you're in a can situation, pretty much. Are you going to sidewalk? Are you going to duck and then stand back up and get the small punish? Are you going to do a hard read and potentially get launched by the hop kick? So yeah, it's super strong stuff. And yeah, if you really want to up your game when it comes to the forward 4 mix as Leo, this is the stuff you're going to have to be doing, just to make your opponent think more and not be able to directly counter what it is you're trying to do to them. Because sidewalk left versus these options is obviously super strong. So once you add the other stuff in, the opponent is then obviously thinking about the other options. So yeah, I hope you get some ideas from this, and I hope you like the video. Leave a comment and subscribe. Peace.